While I wait for my new dinner plans to come together, I make my way over to a unique project happening in the heart of the city. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman master of Stoicism, said that the obstacle in the way is the way. This is a relevant concept here in Moscow at Mobius, which is a food startup accelerator. In the face of tough economic sanctions, they're bringing homegrown products to the market. Even nice to meet you.
Hi.
Tell me about your company's philosophy.
Yeah, our company's philosophy in Russian it sounds like вдохновлять на лучшее, which is in English is to inspire for the better. And this helps us to create sustainable models of development of business. Because if you don't inspire people for the better, if you don't see a social aspect in what you are doing, then it's not sustainable.
Inside the building, there's a little bit of tech going on. Or would this be industry or science? Anyhow, but for me, the real interests are the chefs and entrepreneurs inside the facility who are honing their products for market. Like these guys, making churros specifically for a Russian audience. Oh yeah! Traditional churros made for the Russian market, which is currently very health conscious, so that they're made smaller and with healthier ingredients. They like their dipping sauce here, so I believe we got vanilla, but you can also get chocolate or hazelnut. And Russians kind of have a thing about cleanliness, which is great, including keeping their hands clean. So you would eat this with a fork. Look at that monster piece. Well, I'm just gonna roll with it. Wow, you guys are onto something. I feel like eating this on a Ferris wheel. Is there a Ferris wheel around here? Awesome. This may be the best churro I've ever had. And I don't feel that bad about eating it. Thank you guys, thank you. Or this lady, making serniki, a traditional kind of Russian cupcake adjusted for the trending, health-conscious Muscovites, with raisins, granola, and honey. So this is your variation on the traditional Russian cheesecake, but it's baked, it has no butter and no flour.
Right.
How is that possible?
Try.
Oh wow, that's freaking fantastic.
I knew that.
There's real no butter in this. Fess up.
No, it is
Really?
it's rather low fat.
But it's Mariana Orlinkova, food writer and chef, who drops the real wisdom on me. Let's talk a little bit about Russian cuisine while we're doing this. Everybody in the world knows Mexican food, everybody knows Indian food. Russia, largest country in the world, and I don't know anybody outside of Russian, except for Russians, who go eat in a Russian restaurant. Why is that?
Well, everybody knows vodka, caviar, and most probably blini or something like that, right? Or beef stroganoff.
I've
That's
had
it.
some
That's
vodka
it.
now and then.
Well, the problem is that Russian cuisine is not even popular in Russia. We have several answers why. For example, well, Soviet Union was not about traditions at all. So we kind of forgot everything that we had. Then Russian cuisine is all about Russian oven. We don't have Russian ovens anymore. You cannot build it in your 54 stories house in Moscow or anywhere else.
Right.
And the house was built around the oven.
Right.
It's for heating, for cooking, for even taking bath in it. You know that you can enter the oven and be inside and clean yourself in it.
So you lost the traditions, you lost the momentum that made Russian cuisine what it was.
That's true.
But now you're part of the movement to reclaim that.
Well, we are trying to do something that modern people understand, like what their palate likes. Because if we start cooking as our great grandfathers did, they won't accept it. They will say, this is shit, I am not going to eat it.
Okay.
So some of the things are done, we're doing it, well, perfectly for the modern palate.
I gotcha. Tapping into a little bit of those traditional dishes, but putting a modern spin on them.
We think that if we start with at least the product, at least people will understand that this is Emmer and this is good. Then probably we will add something else and a new technology, which is a very old technology, etc., etc.
Right, so this is just the beginning. Not only are we in a startup, but the nation itself is sort of in a startup phase of reclaiming their cuisine.
Yes, yes, because Russian people most probably know Mexican cuisine better than their own.
Bizarre.
Bizarre, really.
But exciting that you're part of this new wave.
Of course.
Mariana cooks up a crazy good version of traditional Russian porridge, starting with the world's most old school grain, emmer. This is the basic foundation of the dish, and it's been around a long time.
Like at least for 500 years.
500 years. So I'm taking a scoop into history. All right. Tastes healthy and hearty. Got a nice texture to it. Now, as I understand, going forward in time to the modern era, people are putting some sweet variations on this.
Yeah, you can try one of the free stuff that we have. This is chocolate and hazelnuts. This is just strawberry with some lemon juice and a little bit of sugar. And this is caramelized stewed onion, apples with butter, cinnamon, and honey.
Caramelized apples with butter, cinnamon, and honey. Ding, ding, ding. That's the winner. Try a little bit. A little nibber nabber of that. Okay.
This goes better for the modern person, right?
This would be a fantastic meal on the go. I can see waking up late, hitting that snooze button too many times, getting out of bed, running to the office. You only got a couple minutes. There's a little food stand. Pick up one of these, gulp it down as you're heading to work. You're set till lunchtime. That's fantastic. And this is what we've been slaving away on, right? Well, you've been taking the lion's share of the work. Chipped in a little bit on the onions. Remember that?
Yeah.
From the business center, I head over to Moscow's first market bistro, full of all kinds of produce, meat, spices, and other curiosities. And this is a sheep. Here, Mobius maintains a slick space where their entrepreneurs can get direct feedback from customers. There I meet Valeria, who's created a do-it-yourself cheese box. This box has everything I need to make two kinds of cheese.
Yeah, mozzarella and ricotta, everything is in here except for the milk. The milk we bought separately.
All right. And it turns out to be a piece of cake. Following the cutesy instructions, we heat some milk, add some citric acid, and before you can say mozzarella, it comes to fruition. How does a girl from Moscow make mozzarella cheese?
Well, it was quite a long path, and I worked in finance. I hated it, and then the sanctions hit, and I just decided to make some project that will be fun and that will allow to make homemade cheese, because we don't have that much cheese now in the supermarket.
Right.
So that's it.
You found the silver lining.
Yeah.
One person's obstacle is another person's stepping stone.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing for me.
Nice, I like your style.
So we've waited for about 15 minutes, and now we have a nice firm curd which was formed in these 15 minutes, and now we are going to cut it in cubes. So I'm gonna do it like this.
Yeah. It doesn't seem like something you could cut.
Yeah, and try it.
Is that about the right size?
Yeah, perfect. Good. You're doing a great job.
I feel like Dad cutting
Yeah,
the
here.
Thanksgiving turkey. It's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, one here.
And one here?
more. Yeah,
All right.
good. And now we're gonna heat it up to 40 degrees. Here. I hope it will take some time. So we are gonna need our milk thermometer once again.
Okay. When it gets firm enough, the aspiring cheese is cut and then stretched. Stretching that mozzarella. Sounds like an expression.
Yeah.
Stretch it every day. I'm stretching that mozzarella. You know what I'm saying? Out here on the streets of Moscow, we stretching that mozzarella.
No, just form a ball.
All right.
Yay. Good.
Rump.
Nice ball of mozzarella.
Boom.
And put it in the way. Yeah, you're all set. Good job.
I feel
Good
so
job.
I feel so proud of myself.
Yay.
Thank you. You're right, that was a piece of cake.
Yeah,
Or a piece of cheese.
piece of cheese.
It was a piece of
Okay.
cheese.
Yeah.
Later at the booth, I meet one of Mobius's partners, who's launching into a booming Russian market. Mayonnaise. I've heard Russians eat more mayonnaise per capita than anyone else on the planet.
Actually, yeah, it's true, but not many people know why, because when you and I were kids, the only source Russians had was mayonnaise. Well, that time it was Soviet Union, so no other sources available. So people used to cook with it, live with it, wash with it, just do everything with it.
the sauce.
That was the only commercially, well, one of probably 3 or 4. But so yeah, so Russians now they eat 8 kilos of mayonnaise. You guys eat 2 kilos of mayonnaise, so 4 times more. So,
Now,
yeah,
that's got to lead me to the question: if mayonnaise is so copiously consumed here, it must be a huge market. Why do you want to jump into it?
well, reason being is that despite the fact that Russians eat so much mayonnaise, it's like now it turns out that not many people actually know where it comes from, how it should be made, and what it actually tastes like, the original mayonnaise. So the project that we're doing is we're making kind of a luxury mayonnaise, even though I don't like saying luxury, but it's more to the real kind of a niche mayonnaise which has all fresh ingredients as opposed to commercial blends, and tons more flavor to me as a chef.
Luxury mayonnaise.
It is indeed, yeah.
Is it like the Grey Poupon of mayonnaise?
I would imagine so, yeah.
As Andre whips up his deluxe mayo, I ask him the burning question. On this trip throughout Russia, I've been talking to a lot of people about the lack of popularity in Russian cuisine, and people refer to a revitalization. They say we lost it and we're getting it back, and that the sanctions have something to do with that.
Well, it's actually, I mean, if you look at the history of, or for the whole of the last century, Russians have been preoccupied with different things. And in my view, what happened with Soviet Union didn't help either, because those days people were more concerned with feeding the mass as opposed to keeping hold of their traditions. And plus, you know, traditions were sort of considered not good, so if you know what I mean.
Right.
So now, I mean, sanctions is kind of a difficult question. I don't think it's make it or break it, but it's definitely a good chance for people now to start doing something, because there's definitely a niche in the market which is open. So if you're actually willing and able to quickly learn and be entrepreneurial, now is a better time, let's say, than 10 years ago, or even 20 or 30 years. So yeah, I would say it's got definitely something to do with sanctions, but now we have to get back. A lot of things have been lost. It's like when you lose your tradition, when you lose your knowledge, it takes you twice the time and effort to get it back.
Right.
So now we need more energy, more sort of be even more entrepreneurial to get it back.
Right.
And a lot of people which we see here, they're trying to do it.
With the mayo done, Andre and I take a spin around the market to see what we can do with it, and we come up with a brilliant idea.
So here's a sandwich with our potted crab and herb-infused mayonnaise.
Potted crab, herb-infused mayonnaise.
Enjoy.
Long time coming. Let's see if it came together. Jumpin' Jehoshaphat. It was really good. You know, I recall going to Maine with my father as a kid and getting a lobster roll for the first time,
Yeah.
which was like nothing I'd had before. And I've always dreamed of going back one day. I've never made it back, but this brought me back.
See, it takes a long way. Sometimes you have to travel further.
The long road back.
Yeah. Excellent.
Nice firm bread, crispy lettuce. Crab, of course, who doesn't like Alaskan king crab? But it is that zesty mayonnaise that really gives it the punch, brings it all together. Russia's most loved sauce, but now done in a real special way. From Russia, with love.